Did God make a mistake?
No, absolutely not.
So is it disrespectful when someone refers to you as a man?
You haven't had the gender reassignment surgery, but you're in a relationship, so who's doing who?
Real WTV.
Welcome to 3LWTV. I'm Lonnell Williams coming to you today from Atlanta, Georgia. My special guest on the show today is Tracee McDaniel, a transgender woman here from Atlanta. Dear friend of mine, just a wonderful spirit, and I would love for her to impart some of her wonderful knowledge about her experience of being a transgender individual. And I would like to welcome to 3LWTV, Ms. Tracee McDaniel. And I just appreciate your being here. I just want to say thank you so much.
Thank you. You're so welcome.
So Tracee, tell us a little bit about what you do professionally.
I'm the executive director and founder of Juxtapoz Center for Transformation Incorporated. We're a social services and advocacy organization for transgender, non-gender conforming individuals. So basically what we do is whenever we receive calls from people in the community, we refer them out to trans-sensitive organizations, because a lot of organizations, they claim to be, but once you get there, you know, you're not respected.
What was your experience like in coming into the realization that you are?
I always knew that I was different as a child. I always knew that I wasn't doing the things that my male cousins were doing. Whenever we played house, I was always the mother. I never was a masculine person, so I always knew. And it was a challenge for my mother at the beginning, but that was a bone of contention between the two of us growing up until recently. I was blessed to be accepted by my mother first of all, and then when I finally got to see the rest of my family members during my grandmother's funeral, I was concerned. So I just explained to my mother that there may be some distractions or maybe some conversations about me, but that wasn't why I was there. I was there to support her. So she basically told me if anyone has anything to say negative about me, they better keep it to themselves. Transgender is just an umbrella term.
Okay.
With all of the other subgroups underneath. Transsexual, drag queen. It depends on how you describe yourself.
You consider yourself a heterosexual woman? Is that how, because you are a woman
I consider
who likes
myself
men?
a transsexual woman in a heterosexual relationship. We want to be addressed as the way we present ourselves.
Right.
If I'm coming to work, made up in a dress, looking like a female, then that's how I expect to be treated or addressed.
Right.
And so some people, for whatever reason, for their moral beliefs or whatever, they choose to address the person in the wrong pronoun. So that's a challenge.
So is it disrespectful when someone refers to you as a man?
Utterly disrespectful. Utterly. And that's when I'm ready to fight. For those who who haven't gone through the gender reassignment surgery, most people feel, well, you haven't had the gender reassignment surgery, but you're in a relationship, so who's doing who?
And is that any of their business?
Exactly. It's really none of their business, but my thing is that, I'm with a man that's secure with himself.
Oops.
And so it's none of your business who's doing who or who's doing what.
Right.
I'm always the female in the relationship. He's always the man in the relationship. Period.
And if you can't get that part of the anatomy, baby, then we need to go back to biology 101.
Absolutely. I don't need to have surgery to feel complete, because I'm complete the way that I am.
So if you don't actually go through with the surgery, with the gender reassignment surgery, then are you really a transsexual?
You're transsexual. There's pre-op and post-op. Pre-op is non-surgery. Post-op is surgery.
So then what's the difference between pre-op and a drag queen? Oh,
It's self-descriptive. That's why I
Okay.
say when you look at transgender, the umbrella term, the individuals, the subgroups that are beneath the umbrella, they're self-described.
This might be too personal, but if you go use pre-op or post-op?
Pre-op.
Pre-op, okay, so.
No desire. I wouldn't call myself religious, but I consider myself very spiritual. I used to have an issue with religion because as a child I was forced to read these Bible verses that condemned homosexuality to hell. Mm-hmm. And when I read those verses, they never, I never felt that they were talking about me because I've never felt like I'm a homosexual. I've been a homosexual, so I just knew that I had an issue with having to be forced to read those Bible verses. There is a beef. There is a disconnection between the trans community and the gay, lesbian, bisexual community, heterosexual community, because I think it's this superiority and inferiority complex. Someone wants to be on top. Someone wants to be better than the person. And so I just have an issue with labels. I accept people as they are. I don't try to conform or convert anyone to what I believe they should be or the way they should act. I just accept people the way they are, and that's how I expect for them to accept me or treat me.
I've heard some transsexuals have issues with drag queens because they don't have the courage or the balls, if you will, to actually do the full transition.
Right. Well, I believe that there is some truth to that, and my experience has been some of the issues are around the fact that transsexuals are able to live 24/7. We've been conditioned to think that we need to have surgery in order to be complete, which is a myth. Find some kind of foundation that you can adhere to, whether it be religion or spirituality, because to me those are two different things. And also be careful with the peers that you hang out with, because unfortunately there are so many young trans people who are getting involved with the wrong types of peer groups. They're being taught that the only job that you can get is prostitution and selling your body, and we can do so much more. I think honesty is the best policy. If you see that the relationship is going further than what you considered, or if you see that that person is more interested in you than what you thought in the beginning, it's best to be honest. And if you just feel like it's a casual thing and you're not going any further than going out or just hanging out with the person, or if you may not see the person again, it's up to you who you tell. Before I got into my relationship, and if I met a guy he didn't know, it depends on how the relationship went and what the expectations were from that person. I let them know, look, I'm a transsexual woman. If you don't know what that is, go rent this movie, go read this book, here's my phone number, and we can talk about it. I can only speak for myself. We're all a part of the same community, but there is a difference. I don't consider myself gay, so in that aspect, no. Gay, lesbian, bisexual people, they feel like trans people have just been brought here from outer space.
Right. We've
been here forever. We've been here since the eunuchs in the biblical days. The eunuch is just a modern term for a transgender, transsexual person. There's discrimination all across the board.
So how do we heal that?
By what we're doing now, by you reaching out to me and having a conversation and educating each other about each other, because there's a lot of education that needs to be done.
I want to thank my special guest, Tracee McDaniel, today for her wonderful insight and great conversation. Let's continue this journey. Always, always stand in your light.
Real WTV.